Welcome. I'm Julie Cielo. I'm the founder and CEO of Femme Fatale, the world's first probiotic mocktail Shrabucha in classic cocktail flavors. I wanted to create a new category of beverage because I was tired of alcohol being the only socially acceptable beverage, and I wanted to create a social revolution. I've never felt more inspired in my life to share what I know about the negative effects of alcohol and why nourishing the gut microbiome with wild fermentation is so vital. It is awesome to see all of the consumers finally rising up and demanding better options, just as I did whenever I was 20 years old at a concert when I couldn't drink alcohol because I was sick with what I was told was an autoimmune condition. My friends are having beer and I couldn't have alcohol because I was so sick. I felt left out, but more importantly, I felt isolated. And that deeply and profoundly affected my life so much that it inspired the birth of this company 15 years later. There's no doubt generally that alcohol makes us feel less inhibited and more carefree, feeling warm and buzzed and more confident. But alcohol is a toxin, and that's a reality that we all need to accept in our society. It numbs the senses, it's a depressant, two things that contradict the process of evolving consciously. And if you're immunocompromised, the negative effects of just 2 drinks can wreck your hormone function. So what if drinking meant getting a healthier gut? That's where Drinking Dirty comes in. Dirt refers to the good bacteria, the live enzymes, and the naturally occurring beneficial yeast that inhabit our wildly fermented Shrabucha that, when introduced to your gut, create a host of benefits. In wild fermentation of tea, called kombucha, loads of live organisms are formed within the beverage through the process of the SCOBY's digestion of sugar. SCOBY being an acronym for symbiotic combination of bacteria and yeast, thus how our naturally occurring compounds are created. No powders or yeast here. We prefer fermenting all the sugar out of our beverages, yet keeping all the health tonifying dirt and always keeping it wild and the ethanol low. After healing from my own autoimmune challenges with the help of Drinking Dirty and attempting to launch this brand in 2015, but I ran out of capital, I was hosting probiotic mocktail pop-ups and keeping the passion alive, pun intended. I knew I still needed to share my purpose with others after all the benefits I've received and help heal other people like I did whenever I was a seasoned healer and a therapist in private practice for over 20 years in my past life. So the pop-ups were a success, and people would come to me and comment on their reactions. They would say they had more mental clarity, clearer skin, clearer eyes, feeling of overall inflammation reduction, and feeling more alert. So the reason why we feel these benefits is because our gut wall houses 70% of the cells that make up our immune system. The gut has its own response to alcohol when it's ingested. It suppresses T cells that are important for immune function, and it causes oxidation of the brain. Laboratory research shows that when you consume just 4% alcohol by volume or more, you decrease your hydrochloric acid, your good bacteria, the beneficial yeast in your gut, as well as vitamins B and C that are super important for overall health. Alcohol affects the immune system by disrupting gastrointestinal flora and metabolizing quickly into sugar, which actually paralyzes immune cells. So do I think that drinking alcohol is wise if you have an autoimmune disease? Do I think that alcohol should be abstained 100% of the time? Well, it's just not that black and white for everyone. You see, alcohol has a complicated influence on our immune system, and the mechanisms still have yet to be studied. One thing that we know for sure is that people with autoimmune disease have little to no tolerance of alcohol, with bad hangovers, not just the following day, but for up to a week, feeling tired and out of sorts. And this can be just from 2 glasses of wine. Furthermore, sugar, the gateway drug, actually feeds this pathogenic yeast, and it's oftentimes combined with alcohol, which create more autoimmune responses in the body. All of these variables in our life, in our body, have an effect on our health, and stress being the biggest. Other factors are sleep, food, relationships, physical activity, infections, pathogens like viruses, and toxins. You see, alcohol falls into a lot of these categories because it's like a food and it's used for relaxation as a coping mechanism for stress. But all of this healing needs to be a part of the conversation. I call it living clean, living with a heart free of unforgiveness, anger, hate. And it's not just about how clean your diet is, but it's about how clean your thoughts are that you sip on all day long. You don't have to be an alcoholic or have an autoimmune condition to understand holistic well-being. So we at Femme Fatale transform negative core beliefs, and we think it's just as important as the SCOBY transforming from sugar into our life-forming elixirs. So let's look at the relationship between your immune system and alcohol so you can decide for yourself if drinking dirty is the highest path to imbibement for you. So did you know that alcohol actually causes more stress, inflammation, and activation of brain reward pathways that help create more alcohol cravings? What's even more concerning is the effects on the brain. It doesn't end there. Increased inflammation causes the body to produce stress hormones that become like a feedback loop. So what is autoimmune disease? Well, 4% of the world's population have it, and 80% of those people have the most common ones listed here. Type 1 diabetes, MS, RA, lupus, Crohn's, psoriasis, and scleroderma. 78% of these people are women between the ages of 12 and 51. Reasons unknown, but they think that it has something to do with infection and leading to autoimmune conditions. Genetics could play a role, but we know for sure that gut health is imperative in managing autoimmune disease. I am a walking testament of that. How does alcohol affect women? Well, when it comes to the liver, women tend to develop alcoholic hepatitis and die of cirrhosis more than men. In the brain, they're more vulnerable than men to alcohol-induced brain damage. When it comes to the heart, despite women's 60% lower alcohol use over a lifetime, they still tend to die of more heart disease. The breasts, well, we have learned that moderate drinking increases the risk of breast cancer, although one recent study has shown that it doesn't increase breast cancer unless you have more than one drink per day. When it comes to mental illness, a taboo subject needs to be discussed. Female heavy drinkers, meaning 15 drinks or more per week, have an increased risk of experiencing mental illness, depression, anxiety being the most common. Alcohol has a significant effect on sleep disruption, especially with women over 40. Alcohol changes estrogen levels and increase the risk of breast cancer. Alcohol ages us quicker, no thanks. Sipping something smooth to ease the path of resistance might seem like the easiest thing to do, but cultural forces fuel alcohol being the best way to relax and reward ourselves. I think self-care could use a brand overhaul, am I right? Step aside, Carrie Bradshaw, because we love Cosmos, but we like them dirty AF. You decide what that means, wink, wink. No and Low movement allows women a path to escape big alcohol's pink scapegoat punch that they've been serving up since the mid-90s. Women are more susceptible to alcohol, not just because we're smaller, but because we have less water in our body, making it more concentrated in our bloodstream, and we lack the enzyme that breaks down alcohol. Besides, true self-confidence comes from impressing oneself with one's own capabilities and overcoming self-loathing. Turning away from things that don't serve us and aligning with self-love is the highest path to personal healing. So ladies and smart men alike, if you're looking for a functional and fashionable way to imbibe in style, drinking dirty is for you. If you want to reduce the visible signs of aging while increasing your antioxidants and populating your gut with an army of soldiers to boost your immune system and keep inflammation and toxic at bay, drink dirty. Scientific evidence has shown that our shrub bucha helps to manage candida and ward away the symptoms of autoimmune disease and kill bacteria from lips to bum. Let's raise a glass of bubbly to that. So today you learned about the negative effects of alcohol on gut health and why drinking dirty is key. You also discovered the demographics most susceptible to autoimmune disease and why live, raw, whole food probiotic beverages are an excellent choice to avoid alcohol and sugar while protecting your immune system and having glowing skin from within while imbibing. If you need some strategies to take a more mindful approach to alcohol, here are 6 tips to help dial it back. Set limits for yourself, like no alcohol Monday through Friday. We have great cleanse programs on firmfatale.com to help guide you to enjoy life beyond alcohol and get more addicted to feeling good instead of sipping on shameful thoughts promoting inflammation in your body. Start meditating for just 20 minutes each morning. This will help to increase your overall awareness, to begin paying better attention to your mood and motivations for wanting alcohol, and even strengthen your discernment muscle. Get guidance, okay? So along with our cleanses comes practical advice and tips and tools on meditation and hypnosis for overcoming sugar and alcohol habits. But when dealing with addiction, it's best to work with a trained professional and seek full recovery. Join a community. We do online challenges on social and are building a beautiful online community, and we would love to cheer you on in your sober, curious journey. Success comes from changing your habits, and sometimes that means changing who you hang out with. See a therapist or hypnotherapist. Research shows that cognitive behavioral therapy is highly effective to curb drinking. I'm a huge proponent of hypnosis and even lead something called trance, a sacred ceremony to transform the subconscious mind, which we host from time to time. I incorporate breath work and meditation, hypnosis, channeling, and all of this in community with beverages and recipe suggestions at your home participation to evolve your subconscious mind and free yourself from the bondage of negative core beliefs. And lastly, socialize differently. I'm a big believer in not just taking everything you once identified with and throwing the baby out with bathwater, but replacing it. Choose better, change your life. Getting together in bars is not the only way to socialize. Thanks to COVID, we have even more opportunities to adapt to this whole new world of mindful imbibement. I'm personally building a badass probiotic mocktail cart for all kinds of stuff for the holidays. Do you have any suggestions of what I should put on it? The magic of life is found in its polarity. We must first embrace our darkness to find our own inner light. Trust your gut, speak your truth. Living clean is about transforming negative core beliefs and releasing things that don't serve you while moving forward with a powerful mindset. The Femme Fatale philosophy is about seeing your challenges as possibilities and remembering that your imperfections are what make you sexy and unique, and you can transform your challenges into power. I did it. You can do it too. Health is wealth. Love is invincible. Take a dirty and wild sip. I dare ya. I'm Julie Cielo. Thank you so much for having me. Live clean, drink dirty.